Step into the historic Wrigley Field, where every brick tells a story and every inning ignites the passion of baseball fans as we dive into the heart of Chicago's sports legacy. From the decades-long wait for lights to illuminate the field to the eerie curse of a billy goat that whisper tales of legendary moments, each revelation will deepen your appreciation for the timeless magic of Wrigley Field. Welcome back to another top-line video, and today we'll be going through 5 jaw-dropping Wrigley Field facts that will leave you speechless. The curse supposedly originated during the 1945 World Series when William "Billy Goat" Cianis, the owner of the Billy Goat Tavern in Chicago, attended a game at Wrigley Field with his pet goat, Murphy. Legend has it that Cianis and his goat were ejected from the stadium because other fans complained about the goat's odor. In response to being ejected, Cianis is said to have declared, "Them Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more." This statement has been interpreted as a curse on the Cubs' success in winning the World Series. Following the incident, the Cubs experienced a prolonged period of disappointment, failing to win a National League pennant for 39 years and not winning a World Series for 108 years. The curse of the Billy Goat gained widespread attention and became part of Cubs folklore. In 2016, however, the Cubs finally broke the curse by winning the World Series, defeating the Cleveland Indians in a dramatic 7-game series, ending the Cubs' 108-year championship drought. Despite the curse being broken, the legend of the curse of the Billy Goat continues to be a part of Cubs history and is often referenced by fans and commentators when discussing the team's past struggles and eventual triumph.
And ever since then, the Cubs have suffered from the curse of the goat.
It remains one of the most enduring and colorful stories in baseball lore. Unlike modern stadiums with digital scoreboards, Wrigley Field's scoreboard is entirely manually operated. A team of dedicated scoreboard operators sits inside the scoreboard, changing the scores by hand as the game progresses. The scores, innings, and other information displayed on the scoreboard are changed using a system of levers and pulleys which requires skill and precision. While most modern scoreboards feature replay screens and video highlights, Wrigley Field's scoreboard sticks to the basics by only displaying essential information like the score, inning, count, and pitcher statistics. The scoreboard's design harkens back to an earlier era of baseball, as its classic look and manual operation evoke a sense of nostalgia for fans and players alike. The manual scoreboard is considered an integral part of Wrigley Field's charm and tradition, as it adds to the unique atmosphere of the ballpark and sets it apart from more modern stadiums. Wrigley Field opened in 1914 and hosted only day games for nearly 7 decades before lights were finally installed. The installation of lights at Wrigley Field marked a significant departure from this tradition. Night games began at the historic ballpark on August 8, 1988, when the Cubs played against the Philadelphia Phillies. The delay in installing lights was largely due to neighborhood opposition and concerns about potential disruptions to the surrounding community.
Actually showed up wearing a no lights t-shirt.
I just decided that this was my way to come as a Cub fan, but express my opinion, which is I still am against lights. But if it keeps the Cubs from moving to Schaumburg, then it's worth it because the Cubs belong in Wrigley Field.
However, once the lights were in place, they opened up new opportunities for evening games, expanded television coverage, and allowed the Cubs to compete on a more even playing field with other teams who regularly played night games. Despite this modernization, Wrigley Field has retained much of its old-world charm and continues to be one of the most beloved ballparks in baseball. While the ivy is now synonymous with Wrigley Field, it wasn't always part of the stadium's design. The ivy was first planted in 1937 by then Cubs general manager Bill Veeck Sr., covering the outfield walls as a way to enhance the aesthetics of the ballpark. The ivy that covers the outfield walls is a mix of Boston ivy and Japanese bittersweet. Over the years, it has become thicker and denser, creating a unique playing environment for outfielders. The ivy leaves change color throughout the seasons, providing a visually stunning backdrop to the games. The ivy isn't just for show, it serves a functional purpose during games. If a ball gets lost in the ivy, it's considered a ground rule double, which ensures fair play and adds an element of unpredictability to fielding in Wrigley Field. While the ivy adds charm to Wrigley Field, it also presents maintenance challenges. Groundskeepers have to carefully trim and maintain the ivy to ensure it doesn't interfere with gameplay or damage the stadium structure. Additionally, during the off-season, the ivy is cut back to promote healthy growth for the next season. The ivy-covered walls have witnessed countless memorable moments in baseball history, from spectacular catches to game-winning home runs. The ivy has been a silent observer to generations of baseball fans. It has become an integral part of Wrigley Field's identity and a symbol of the enduring legacy of the Chicago Cubs. One of the most legendary moments in baseball history occurred during Game 3 of the 1932 World Series between the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs. Babe Ruth supposedly pointed to the center field bleachers, indicating he would hit a home run on the next pitch from Cubs pitcher Charlie Root. Ruth then reportedly hit the ball exactly where he pointed, although there is debate over whether he actually called his shot. Chicago Cubs legend Ernie Banks hit his 500th career home run at Wrigley Field on May 12, 1970. Becoming only the 9th player in MLB history to reach that milestone at the time.
Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats and left. The ball tossed in the bullpen. Everybody on your feet. This is it.
During Game 6 of the 2003 National League Championship Series between the Chicago Cubs and the Florida Marlins, fan Steve Bartman unintentionally interfered with a foul ball, preventing Cubs outfielder Moises Alou from making a catch. This incident is often cited as a turning point in the game and the series, which the Cubs ultimately lost, prolonging their World Series drought. After a 108-year drought, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series in 2016, defeating the Cleveland Indians in an epic 7-game series. The Cubs clinched the title in Game 7 at Progressive Field in Cleveland, but the journey to the championship included several memorable moments at Wrigley Field throughout the postseason. On May 6, 1998, Cubs pitcher Kerry Wood delivered one of the most dominant pitching performances in MLB history at Wrigley Field. Wood struck out 20 Houston Astros batters in a single game, tying the MLB record for most strikeouts in a 9-inning game.
Gets Derek Bell for his 20th strikeout, a National League record. He has his first Major League complete game and shutout, and it's a one-hitter over the Houston Astros. They're mobbing Kerry Wood at the mound. The young Texan has blanked the Astros 2-0.
These moments, among others, have contributed to Wrigley Field's legacy as one of the most storied ballparks in baseball history. If you made it to the end and enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you to everyone that leaves a comment in my videos. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comment section below.